I think this would be part three, part four, part five, maybe, of this the idea that Christianity came out of Africa. We showing y'all that's a motherfucking lie. We gave examples saying if Christianity said you can only have one wife, why did Ethiopians have so many motherfucking wives? Go research Ethiopian history. We showed y'all where they connected the same way we have noticed or we have found out that Jesus wasn't born on the 25th. We have found out that a lot of so-called Christian holidays has nothing to do with Christianity. They say the shit was pagan. Easter, the ideal of a Easter egg on the day they say Jesus rose from the Christ. We rose from the dead. We realize that ain't true. But this is what the Christian church decided, that in order to build the church, maybe prophecy wasn't enough. In order to build the church, we got to let everybody in. It don't matter what you about or what you did. If you saying this is a holy day, that the day that they matched and said this is the day Jesus rose from the dead. If this the day, if you research that ain't true. If you say this day was this day, the day that Jesus died on the cross, we can all put this together and put this in our religion and say this happened so you can be a part of this religion. And what we're trying to show y'all, that the Christian church got that shit from us, and the state got it from the church. The state broke away from the church. We trying to show you this. We live this way, the same way the Christians are doing it now, but a little different. If you would have to understand, like, let's look at Houston. Houston got millions of motherfuckers in it, maybe about 2 millions. That's how many motherfuckers was in a tribe. And they was all fucking related. You got to remember, we had 10, 15, 20 wives. Just imagine how it might have been 5 million, 10 million motherfuckers in this one tribe. If you could just understand what I'm saying. Africa is a continent. It is not no country like America. So it was millions of motherfuckers in this tribe, and you might have been a thief. I'm just trying to show you something. You might have been a liar. You might have been a murderer. But this is the way we looked at it. You are part of our family, so we good with that. Murder for us, lie for us, steal for us, cheat for us, but don't steal from us. You go over there and do your stealing, right? The church got the same game. Although they are talking, preach against stealers and liars and cheaters and murderers, they open their door to murderers, Christian them, and say, do it for the church. Is this shit making sense? It got to be making sense. The same way the state is looking at it. Going overseas and fighting in war, they got the game from the church. We not tripping as long as you do it for America. Fuck everybody else, they got the game. And this is why I believe that a lot of people, black people, decided to lift up the church, because I think this was the first time in history that the power was given to the church. At one time, you could walk around as a God. I am God. If you research Abraham, this is what Abraham was saying. I'm making these offerings to these gods that don't eat. These gods don't speak. I speak. I eat. If you give me an offering, I'm going to eat that shit. If you understand the story of Abraham, Abraham was saying, I am God, nigga. Same thing, go back to what it's written that Jesus said, you are God. So Abraham was pointing this shit out. At one time, you could walk around as a God, but some kind of way, maybe the priest did it, maybe the Catholic priest, when they took over the books of Alexandria, what they call the books of Alexandria, books of Egypt, they took the power from a person and gave it to the church. The same way Abraham Lincoln took the power from a man and said, you cannot have this much power to enslave people. Only the state can have this type of power. You get what I'm saying? The shit is kind of simple if you dig. So I think that's why a lot of men in the church, anointed men, decided to tenfold this shit. Because his was a chance to give nothing but the power to the church. Same way with the state. At one time, a man had the power. This is why we. I don't want to change subjects, but this is why at one time in what they say we was enslaved, you couldn't look at another nigga that wasn't your so-called slave master, daddy master, or whatever the fuck. You had to put your head down because he did not own you the same way a pimp do a hoe. You can't look at another pimp. Look at it from that standpoint, and you will understand this shit greatly. But back to the point. To say that Christianity came out of Africa is some foolish shit. How dare you disrespect Africa like that? We was about lifting up the woman. We respected the woman. Christianity teaches that the woman ain't shit. You can't trust that bitch. You can't, that's not what we was about, bro. And this is the problem if you really look at it with a black America or black people, period. The black woman realized she does not get the respect she fucking deserves. And I get why a lot of niggas don't do it because, babe, you are letting a motherfucker influence you to do goofy shit. You letting the motherfucking influence you to go from man to man to man to man. You can't, it's hard to get some respect like that. But motherfuckers in the game, motherfuckers that in powerful positions understand, like we said before, the way you get the black woman, you gotta remove her protection. Same way in the story of Job. Just look at the woman that way. In the story of Job, the devil showed up and said, look, and God was saying, so-called in the story, have you considered my servant Job? And the devil said the reason why he's doing this great shit is because you got this hedge on this nigga. If you remove this hedge, I'll be able to do what the fuck I want to with this nigga. Look at it that way. The black woman is Job. Have you considered the black woman? I'm talking about back in the day in her greatness, she's a goddess. Look at the great shit she's doing. The reason why she's doing that shit, because you got a protection around this bitch. Remove this protection and watch what I do with this bitch. Just look at it that way. And the black woman realized, I don't get the respect I deserve. And I'm just trying to show y'all there's no goddamn way Christianity came out of Africa because it does not respect the woman. It does not believe it. It says the woman don't even supposed to speak in the church. Just hear that shit out. They had what they would call in Egypt altars or churches, whatever the fuck you, dedicated to Isis, dedicated to Ma'at, dedicated to Hammut, all these female goddesses. You're not understanding. They bullshitting and lying to you the same way they wanted to let the pagans in. So-called pagans in. As long as you can join this motherfucking church, we good. To be a power, we good. But to say it came out of Africa, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. No cap, just a whole lot of cap.